So a lot of people have been talking to me for the past couple of days, ever since last week. When you're going to talk about Bubba Wallace and the Noose incident, and uh, everyone's challenged me on Facebook as well as all my other social media platforms. And the reason why I stayed quiet because I wanted to get more info. Because at that particular time, it just wasn't enough there. I knew an incident happened in the garage. I knew one of his team members found what appeared to be a noose hanging in the garage. And then later on, they said it was on the garage door. And I was kind of skeptical about it. Now, Bubba Wallace basically implied that this was a hate crime. And the reason why I was skeptical, because I felt like two things, I was going to at least wait until what the FBI was going to do their investigation and do their due diligence and find out what really happened or come close to what really happened. And I was waiting for their findings from their report. And I was skeptical because I felt like two things was going to happen out of this investigation. Either someone in Bubba Wallace's camp put the noose up there, or, it was going to be a coincidence that it happened. All right. And comes to find out, the FBI issued their statement yesterday, I believe. After they done their investigation, there was no hate crime. They have evidence, video footage of that particular item hanging on the garage door. It was basically a tie down to pull the garage door down, and it was sitting there ever since, and it's been there since October. They also said that it'll be literally impossible for someone to actually knew that was going to be Bubba Wallace's garage. It wasn't his traditional garage. Everyone, from what I read, everyone just gets a different garage, and it's been sitting there ever since October, before all this other stuff went down. So after that finding, I felt like Bubba Wallace should have at least issued a statement, or got on social media or got on video, whatever he wants to do, and say it, and basically said, look, we didn't have enough evidence. We thought it was a noose. We thought it was a hate crime. And unfortunately, the FBI did their investigation, and they got more information than what we did. Even though it was sort of an overreaction, still, we have to, our logic was, at that particular time, on what information we had, we thought it was a hate crime. Okay? Instead, Bubba Wallace is basically saying that he still believes it's a hate crime. He still believes someone put that noose up there intentionally for him. And that's his own belief. We live in a country where you have the right to believe wherever you want to believe. Okay? And a lot of the major news networks, including Fox and CNN, ESPN, was riding on this. It's a hate crime aimed towards Bubba Wallace, and spinning it with all the other activities surrounding Bubba Wallace. The guy, who lost his job at NASCAR because he believed in the Confederate flag, and they should not they should not taken down the Confederate flag, and a lot of things surrounding Bubba Wallace. Okay, now Clay Travis is on his radio station saying that he didn't jump to conclusions, and I didn't jump to conclusions. Okay, a lot of people really didn't jump to conclusions, and basically calling this a win-win, and basically piling on Bubba Wallace as, the same thing happened to Michael Bennett. when he accused that the police it was police brutality, and they showed video footage at Vegas, and it comes to find out he made it all up. Or Jesse Smollett, that incident, what happened to him, he felt like it was a hate crime on Jesse Smollett. Come to find out, after they got the evidence and all the video footage, that wasn't true. Okay. And LeBron James with someone graffiti on his mansion in Los Angeles, and it was racial graffiti. Come to find out that it wasn't all what LeBron James said. Okay. And now he's throwing in the fire Bubba Wallace. Basically, he jumped to conclusions. Those other incidents, Jesse Smollett and Michael Bennett, those accusations, those false accusations, they intentionally did that. I felt like LeBron James and Bubba Wallace, this is a classic example of jumping to conclusions. You don't have enough facts there, and you should wait until you get everything. You should get all the evidence, all the facts, before you start issuing a statement, trying to get ahead of the story. And I think that's what Clay Travis should have said. LeBron James and Bubba Wallace was trying to get ahead of the story, okay? They did not have all the facts, all right? Waiting an extra 24 hours could have, made this a lot easier for Bubba Wallace or LeBron James. Now, people are going to say, police are corrupted. Police brutality is on an all-time high. They're going to try to tie all this in, saying you shouldn't trust the FBI, okay? And you have a right to believe in that, okay? But from this situation with Bubba Wallace, it was quick, and they got evidence and video footage of this item. I don't want to keep calling it a noose. I'm just going to say item hanging on the garage door. And it's been there before Bubba Wallace even was registered for that garage. Okay. I felt like this was clearly, look, it was an accident. It was a mistake. I felt like if Bubba Wallace would say, hey, look, at that particular time, we thought the item was a noose. Okay. After the FBI investigated, comes to find out that was there before I was assigned to that garage. Okay. Still, it doesn't say that hate crimes do not exist, racism do not exist. Okay. But at the same time, we jump to, it was an accident on our part. I take full responsibility on that. Okay, I felt like if he would have said that, and he has plenty of time to say that. I think he's going to be on CNN this week, and you never know. Now, he still has not backed down on his initial statement from all the articles I read from this morning, that he still believes that this item was a noose. This item was a reputation of a hate crime. Someone put a hate crime on him. All right. Now, Clay Travis is, it's Clay Travis. Okay, he's the spin doctor, and he's gonna sit up here and tell you guys that Bubba Wallace is never going to recover from this. Okay, which I don't believe that. It's, I think America with a lot of people in America have the right frame of mind. They know that, look, at that particular time, and all the evidence was not brought to Bubba Wallace, yes, the average person would have probably jumped to the same conclusion as Bubba Wallace. I think this is a hate crime. And then after the FBI did their findings, did their investigation, I felt like Bubba Wallace should have been the first one. I'm pretty sure they gave him the initial report before they did their before they announced it to the world. I think Bubba Wallace should have got ahead of it and just said, hey, look, after what the FBI, they did an investigation, they find out that this thing was here before me. They believe it's not a hate crime, was not committed. Even though what they said is true, he could have at least said, look, it doesn't neglect the fact that hate crimes do exist, racism doesn't exist. But at the same time, I take full responsibility on this. We should have waited until we got all the facts in. I still believe in my mind that this was a hate crime and it was aimed towards me. But after reading the report from the FBI, I understand, I have enough evidence in front of me, and the evidence suggests that this was not a hate crime. He could have worded it that way, but look, the truth is this is not a hate crime. The item is not a noose, okay? It was a garage door. It was it's a slip knot that pulls the garage door down. Obviously, somebody that was short could not reach the garage door, so they make a slit knot, and then individual was able to pull the garage door down. I felt like somebody and that probably happened from a previous driver. And I wish the driving team would have just came forward and said, oh yeah, I did that when we had that garage. My bad, it's not a noose. And I'm pretty sure that individual didn't want to come forward because that individual does not want to be depicted as a racist individual. Okay, that's probably why he did not come forward. I'm pretty sure he's at home somewhere going, whoo, boy, I thought I had to, talk to NASCAR, So it's just one of those things. Everyone was just jumping to conclusions, and that's why I didn't comment on it, because I just didn't. It just wasn't enough there to really comment on. Okay, so for all the people that were wondering, hey, what you're not talking about this. I'm finally talking about this because I wanted clarity. I wanted more information. And, that's pretty much what happened. I don't think Bubba Wallace was an attention whore. I don't think Bubba Wallace was trying to spin this like others, like Jesse Smollett and others. And Clay Travis, I understand what you're trying to do. I'm not saying Clay Travis is racist or anything like that, but I just felt like when you're trying to put everything in one pot and stir it and say it, well, see, these individuals are seeking attention. These individuals are the boys that cried wolf. That's what he basically said on the radio show. I felt like Bubba Wallace was more, his story was more was more similar to LeBron James, when he thought that he was, a hate crime was committed on him at his mansion. And I felt like they're similar to the standpoint of they just did not have enough information I think they were trying to get ahead of the story. I think they were trying to, be forward, be fearless on social media to basically let whoever did this know that it's not going to stop them from doing what they're doing. Okay. And I understand that. Okay. But I felt like stuff like this, you got to have a lot more. Okay. You just need a lot more information. Okay. And, Jesse Smollett and Michael Bennett, those individuals, and I feel like I'm butchering Michael Bennett's name, okay? And I'm pretty sure somebody's going to say something in the comment section. But I felt like those individuals was seeking attention, okay? But, it is what it is. And I think, I think I'm butchering that name, okay? So I apologize if I butchered that name, Okay, because I know how you guys get at me when I butcher people's names or say the wrong name. You comment in the comment section. It becomes one comment, two comments, six people are gonna say the same exact thing that first person said. I know y'all gonna do that. That's cool. It's fine. It's dandy. It's your boy. I'm up out of here. I'll see you guys later. Deuces.